This wheels, I would call it a total failure. All right, so that undercarriage is done. I still haven't figured out the wheels all the way, so I'm going to move on to the chamber where the coffin goes. So I'm going to build a cage out of 2 1x2s, okay, that will house the coffin. So that's what I'm going to do next. Now the part where the coffin is going to go is going to be from the rear all the way to about 1 foot right here. So the cage will be right here. This area over here will be for the coach driver, okay? So I'm going to build a cage 7 feet long, and I'm leaving a foot free. I finished cutting the pieces. So these are the length things. I'll show you in the picture in a minute. These are 7 feet. These are the risers, which makes it go up. And these are 39 inches, okay? And these 3 are the spreaders, which is the width of the hearse minus the upright piece. So these are 46.5 inches. So 46.5, 39, 7 feet. Now let's assemble the box. Now I'm going to cut the roof out of this thin plywood right here. Right now I'm making the door where it opens the chamber where you slide the coffin in, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing like 4 pieces and then reinforcing the corners with some metal brackets so that we have a big door where we can put a window. Now the door fits pretty well. Now I'm going to put the hinges, but for that I'm going to lift it with a toothpick to give us the right clearance, you know, top and bottom, so it's not like dragging on the ground. Now I'm going to mark where the hinges go, drill for them, and mount them. I am using these guys. That is the front of the hearse. So I'm putting this piece of plywood on it and I'm just screwing it onto the frame. This will help with the sturdiness as well. I think this cage is about done, right? So we got the door with the handle. I might put a couple pieces of wood here just to strengthen it a bit because it's a little bit wobbly, but the rest of the cage is solid. I added some supports here. This will be hidden behind the decoration. And I put some cross braces here, you know, so we're going to put the roof, and this is the front. And I also added those cross braces right there to make it sturdier. So right now, while I figure out the wheels and a few things that I ordered come back, I'm going to start painting this black. I have painted most of it, right? It needs a touch-up, which I'll do later, but let's talk about the windows. I was thinking of doing them out of plexiglass, right, for these panes right here. But right now, plexiglass is in a short supply because of coronavirus. They use it for shields, right? And it's a little expensive as well. So I'm planning on upgrading it to plexiglass in the future. But right now, we're gonna use clear shower curtains. This one is a 84 inch because this is a 7-foot span right here, right? So I'm going to staple it all around and see how it turns out. I put the windows up yesterday and I'm letting the sun warm them up. That'll take the wrinkles out. So when that happens, I'm going to hang the curtain rods or wires to hang the little curtains that go inside of the hearse. For that, I'm using some of these picture hanger things. I'm going to use a wire from one end to the other one. And at the end of one wire, I'm going to put one of these fishing little hook things. And that way I can take the curtains off and put them back on. All right, and then I'm gonna go shopping for fabric for the curtain. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount 4 of these right here on the cross braces that run across. Then I'm going to put some of these brackets I got from Walmart like this. And then we put a piece of wood, and that will be the seat for the coach driver. So for the curtains, I'm using these Walmart panels. It comes with 2 side panels and 1 balance or whatever that is called. Now to cut the foam panels, I'm using the hot wire foam factory bow saw that I mounted to this table. So I'm going to cut 12-inch strips of foam for the top cladding of the hearse. Now here I am mocking up the panel like I want it to go on the hearse. I'm going to mark with my pencil where I want the different things to happen. I want a curve down here in the middle. I want this part to be perfectly flat, where we're going to put some columns. And then up here, I gave it like 2 inches depth so that we can cut some scallops into it. And it got really hot, but this is what I need to do. I need a curve from this point to that point. I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I put these 2 clamps right here and this clamp right here. And I'm going to tie a string, pull this until I get the curve that I want, and then I'm going to draw it, and maybe that'll work. I'm going to hold these 2 together, and then I'm going to use the hot knife and cut along the lines, and hopefully we'll have 2 identical pieces. And I'm using the hot wire foam factory. I think this is the 4-inch hot knife, right? And I'm just going to finish painting these, and they look fantastic. I'm sorry, like everybody decided to mow their lawn the same day. But now I'm going to attach these to the hearse using strips of wood, right? And some hook and loop tape, which is, you know, like Velcro but off-brand. So I'm going to cut strips of this, put them on the wood, attach them to the hearse, and then expose the double stick tape and put the foam panels on it, and that way they will line up perfectly. All right, it's time to make the wheels. I'm gonna cut them out of this plywood for now before I upgrade them. So this should work okay. So the first thing is I'm gonna drill a hole here, put a screw, and then run some wire and a pencil to get that diameter like we need it. They need to be 44 inches in diameter, so 22-inch radius. Now we cut this out. Oh, first let's do the inner radius too. I'm gonna make them about 2 inches thick. I have those wheels. They're glued, so I'm letting the glue set. So let's talk about the axles. For the axles, I'm using these fence posts. I was going to use PVC, but that is a little too flimsy for the weight of the hearse. So I'm using this, which is like a fence post, and it's like the perfect size. And I'm going to secure it to the hearse with these 2 brackets, right? They look like that. It's gonna go right here, 1 there, and that'll hold the axle in place. Now for these points right here, here, and here, I bought these fence toppers, right? And what I'm going to do So I'm going to jam a piece of foam into the bottom with glue and then a toothpick, and then we're going to mount them like that. That way, if it's raining or something, or I need to put stuff away, I simply remove these guys and put them away in a box. All right, let's talk about the wheel hubs. When I designed the wheel and I put it on the axle, it was too loose, right? So what I did is I got some of this 1.5 PVC and split it. So you can see it split it. And this fits perfectly over it. Then I split a ring so that it stops there, right? And on the front, I'm going to put another ring with a hose clamp to keep the wheel from falling off or wobbling too much. So let's assemble this thing. And we have to decide where to put the wheel so it's not sticking out too much and it's not too close to the hearse itself. So I'm going to measure with the wheel. That looks good right there. Now the next step is I'm going to put this right here to lock it in place. So it doesn't slide out. And then we're going to put a hose clamp over it. And that way we can disassemble it when we're done with the season and put the wheels away because they are huge. And the last thing I'm going to do is add this cap. This fits perfectly right there. Maybe secure it with some hot glue because it's just for the season. We need to be able to pop it out, right? Been a few days and it got cold and I injured my arm, so the progress has been slow, but this morning we went and voted, and then I had my kids come and help me put the stuff together that we have been working on. So we took the cage, right, and we put it on top of the base, which I showed you, and it's bolted right there, and there's 2 more inside over here. I also drilled a hole right here to put cables to bring electricity in. And the other thing that I did was I added that LED strip that is connected over here. Then it comes down on this extension cord. And that's for some supplemental lighting. That LED has a remote so I can change the color. So maybe we'll do like a very dim amber, or maybe we'll attach it to the motion sensor. I attached the panels here, and the toppers. Now I took Bonelope over there, and she is zip tied to the hearse so that the wind doesn't blow her, or she doesn't grow real legs and walk out of here one day, right? I lined up the horses on either side. Now I have to do the harnesses for the horses, and I'm using some duct. It's like duct strapping. It's like this black. Let me show you. It's called, and it's like a strap, and it's 50 feet for $7. So I'm sure we can make the whole harness for both horses with just 1 row. Okay. I don't know anything about harnesses. I saw some pictures on Google, so I'm going to do my best. I'm going to use zip ties to secure all the pieces. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use these are pipe insulators, right? It's like a pool noodle, but they're like black and they're cheaper. They sell them at the hardware store. I'm going to put one of these on each of the horses' necks, like that. So it looks like that padding thing that they use to pull carriages, right? So let's do that. Now, some of the lessons I have learned as I built the hearse are basically 2 things I'm going to do different next year, and one of them is the wheels. These wheels, I would call it a total failure. They look really nice, but they don't support the weight, and I want something functional. So next year, I will either find some wheels, right, professionally made, and add them to the hearse, or I'm going to get the materials, the tools, and the skills and build a set of wheels that actually holds the weight so that we can move this thing around. And the other lesson is the window. I went with these clear shower curtains. I don't like how they look. They're not that clear, and they never got smooth. Maybe we could use some vinyl, like on a convertible top, you know, that actual cars have, that is pretty transparent and pretty smooth. That might work, but better yet, I'm going to use plexiglass next year. The thing I thought was the best about the hearse was the foam. It's kind of like a modular system, which means that next year we can take that foam off and put foam in totally different shape, right? And have a totally different looking hearse. We can make it really rounded, or we can make it tall. We can even make it more Gothic or more streamlined. It's up to us, right? Those panels are interchangeable. If they break, it's just a piece of foam. And it's like having 10 different hearses if you choose to make 10 different configurations, right? So I thought that turned out really, really cool. There it is during the day. Next shot will be during Halloween. And that's how we make a Halloween hearse. I hope you liked this video. If you like this kind of stuff, consider subscribing. Give it a like if you think it's cool. And I will see you on the next one. Happy Halloween.